One thing that narcissists are known for is believing their own lies. And these lies maintain their delusions, their fixed beliefs that they need in order to keep believing their own lies. So, why do they need to keep these delusional beliefs alive? Because those delusional beliefs are actually the narcissist's identity. Personally, this is why that I cannot subscribe to the myth that all narcissists are pathological liars. Narcissists are liars who constantly lie out of their filthy, lying liar mouth, but that is not the criteria, the specific criteria of a pathological liar. A pathological liar is somebody who spontaneously and compulsively lies for no reason they themselves are even aware of. Also, the blurring of fact and fiction that occurs in a pathological liar is not the same as the absolute conviction that occurs in a person who harbors delusions. Pathological lying is reactive, not rehearsed over and over or planned out in advance. Narcissists, on the other hand, they are aware that they benefit from being delusional or believing their own lies. Because, for one, it is easier to manipulate others knowing they are telling their truth. And for number two, as a consequence, it is harder for others to expose them as liars, something that they must avoid at all costs. By definition, this disqualifies them from being the supposed sweet, innocent, pathological liar who cannot control their lying. Narcissists are 100% committed to maintaining their delusions and do so with absolute conviction that they are always either the hero or the victim, but never ever the villain. They distort and even completely dismiss anything that contradicts their delusions. And this includes, but is not limited to, their false perfect self and their current false narrative. To a narcissist, their delusions are the truth and their feelings are superior to facts, reason, and reality. They live their biggest lie, that is the mask of perfection, or the facade. That they are always perfect, they are always right, desired, justified, in control, and owed everything. Everyone owes them the world. And to maintain such delusions of grandeur requires constant mental effort. This is because reality is rather persistent and does not take any time off. As a consequence, the narcissists gain a lifetime of never-ending practice and become the very best of the best of the best when it comes to deluding themselves away from reality. So they're a notch above the pathological liar when it comes to, like, on the piece of shit scale. So there is a trendy term for deluding oneself away from reality, and this is known as mental gymnastics. Okay, so mental gymnastics, the mental ability to distort the truth even in the face of overwhelming evidence or facts. And this means making up excuses or arguments for unjustifiable decisions or situations that they can just twist and even revise history as they see fit. A perfect example of mental gymnastics is in the narcissist prayer, one thing that we have probably all seen around the internet. The narcissist prayer goes, "That didn't happen, and if it did, it wasn't that bad. And if it was, it wasn't that big of a deal. And if it is not my fault. And if it was, I didn't mean it. And if I did, you deserved it." People who have messed up egos can do these mental gymnastics to convince themselves that they are awesome, when in reality, they are just douchebag narcissists. And to get to the bottom of this, let's consider the covert narcissist's bread and butter, betrayal via backstabbing. Their only concern is protecting their lies. And the premise of this is that you have to have excellent skills at detecting when someone is lying, and you don't detect any lies from your boss, who, still unknown to you, is a covert narcissist. But you know many coworkers' behavior towards you has suddenly changed. They are dismissive and they don't want to talk along with you, though they sometimes ask questions to you like, "Do you trust your boss?" And once in a while, the covert narc gets you alone and says to you, "I'm protecting you, I'm concerned about you as a person," but they won't give you any specifics or answer any question when it comes to why. They're evasive with their answers. And behind the scenes, without you around, they have been slandering you to others, saying that you are a paranoid conspiracy theorist, and they're discrediting you. And this happens repeatedly over a couple of months. One day, you catch the covert narcissist in the act, slandering your reputation, saying he or she is paranoid and you knew something was up. You knew someone was poisoning the whale. You are still surprised. Of all people, it was your boss. You swear the boss wasn't lying at the time, but the boss believed what they were saying in that moment. This includes them believing what they said when they later devalued you with "you got lucky" and feigning concern whenever they said that they wanted to help you. So the question is, how exactly does a narcissist manage to not lie while they do both of these things back and forth repeatedly over an extended period of time? Most importantly, how exactly do they actually believe what they're saying to you despite knowing that they have done anything but that they've already been and they're continuing to backstab you and sabotage you? The answer to that question is mental gymnastics. We'll never know the exact lies and excuses that a narcissist tells themselves to pretend it all away. However, using what we have covered here, we know the process well enough. It was, if I were to take a guess, it would go something like this. Person one, I'm doing something. If I'm doing something, I'm protecting you. Person two, I'm doing something. Covert narcissist one, I'm protecting you. So the selective perception is trying to omit any details of what they're doing and stick to this little bit of logic that ignores reality in every single way. However, the logic is not unsound, as everything someone does will help you in some way or another. But the narcissist practices ending the logic right then and there without further examination to make the lie be the truth that they believe. This is a fairly simple guess, but it explains why they can't go into any detail when breaking their truth script. By sticking to their memorized script, they can temporarily tell the truth. Because remember, folks, it's not a lie if you believe it. So here's the fun part. Let's examine this part of the logic and how they can convince themselves of it. If I'm doing something, I'm protecting you. They convince themselves of this piece of logic using their false perfect self, and I can prove it beyond a reasonable doubt. How? Because they are always either the hero or the victim, again, but never the villain. And if what they're saying they do is what a hero or a victim does, they are obviously the hero or the victim in their own mind, then they are doing it. Yes, the circular reasoning has come around full circle. In the end, all the narcissist logic comes back to one central starting point, which is their false self, to keep all of them believing their lies, which require more lies on top of those never-ending loops of other lies. They continually delude themselves which keeps them disconnected from reality. And because of this, narcissists are stuck at the bottom rung of Maslow's hierarchy of needs pyramid. They built a personality of lies upon lies, and that's why they can never become anything more. That is why they are an evil human, or not even a human. They are just a being and not a human being. And any adapting or improving will not make them any more of a human being, just a more sophisticated predator capable of more complex lies. In fact, they could perfect their deluding by simply following up with their action of a heroic purpose, since they are the hero after all, and saying, I said you're paranoid. Why did I say that? Oh, I know I said you're paranoid because of insert heroic reason, whatever. Then they simply don't talk about the action that a heroic reason wouldn't lead to. You don't protect someone whenever you are setting them up to fail. Their real reason will always be, ha ha ha, fuck you. Then they convince themselves that they did it for a good reason and get their truth scripts all memorized before having a conversation with you. As to quote someone here, I'm protecting you. Yes, they are always trying to protect us from the truth because it may hurt us to know they are cheating or that they are lying or that they don't really love us. So they lie to protect our feelings or because they don't want to disappoint us. And I could not have said it better myself. They have to spin the truth really hard to pull that off. And another explanation is word revision, in which is another distortion tactic, where their definition of a word is distorted or revised to tell you what you want to hear. Their words mean different things with different people, especially when targeted at a victim. I'm protecting you in narc speak is I'm sabotaging you. I failed to help you equals I can't manipulate you. I'm worried about you equals I'm smearing you behind your back. I love you equals I love using you. Now here's the test. Who do you think is guilty of these mental gymnastics? There is simply no lie a narcissist can tell themselves that they also cannot convince themselves is the truth. This is because of their false self, and it gives them the power of, if you say so, then you're right. And the narcissist cannot live without that control or that power. When their false self is exposed for what it is, the false self is taken away because their illusion of them being beyond their false perfect self is destroyed and their power and control is taken away. This takes away their ability to keep believing their lies, because that's what the mask of perfection allows them to believe, that they are perfect, always right, desired, justified, and in control, and owed everything.